So this is the Breakfast Club right here, right? I'm proud to be part of the Teal Nation, so thank you for that great honor, and thank you for the opportunity to briefly address the graduates this morning. Usually briefly gets a pretty big applause, but that's what I'm thinking. It's a particularly special day for me. Very few people know that I went to high school with President DeCenzo. We went separately together. He was in my brother's class, my much older brother's class. And with the doctorate, we have agreed to bury the prom photos and the yearbooks. But I will say that he was a starting football player. I was the team mascot, Mighty Hornets. And so to think that two kids from a public high school in Southern Maryland would end up on the same stage on the same day is pretty special for me, so I'm looking forward to this. I also understand my role as a graduation speaker. I understand with the enthusiasm of your day that there's a great chance you have no recollection of my name. I know this, and the parents know this. When you went to college, when you come back for your 5-year reunion, there'll be a trivia contest. There always is. And you'll get questions like, what was the final score of the College World Series? You won't be asked the winner, that's too easy. And what was the hottest club on campus? Somebody told me it was Club Kemble, but I think they're playing with me. And then there'll be the age-old question, who was our graduation speaker? Which 30% of you will get right. It will be the women, because solidarity. And you'll say, oh, we had Susan O'Malley, the first woman to ever run a professional sports franchise. A Jeopardy answer. 30% of you will say, oh, we had something to do with sports because we were always so great at sports. And 30% of you will say, we had some lady who promised to be brief. Which is 90%, because 10% of you are going to scratch your head and go, I don't think we had a speaker our year. So if there's no recollection of my name, that's okay. Maybe the message will resonate. And my message is simple. I want you to follow your passion. And you're thinking, that's it. That's all she's got. They gave her a doctorate, and that's what she came with. But the truth is, it's an important thing because it's your decision. It's your passion. You got here with so much help, right? There were people who helped you financially. There were advisors who helped you pick classes. There were roommates that helped you get through a tough time. But now it's on you, right? This is your passion. You have to figure out where you want to go. And usually it leads you to your purpose. I was lucky. I knew my whole life what I wanted to do. I always wanted to run a professional sports franchise. In junior high, I actually wrote a paper that said, one day I will run a professional sports franchise. And my teacher wrote on top of the paper, good paper, not very realistic. Undeterred, could not crush my passion. On May 9th, 1991, I became the first woman to ever run a professional sports franchise. I had opened the door for other women to become sports executives. And it came with tremendous responsibility because I received letters from all around the world of women of all ages. And so then I figured out my purpose. Now, Dr. DeCenzo, always a little smarter than I was, he knew his purpose first. He graduated from Strattsville High School, and he knew his purpose was service. So to end up in academia didn't surprise me, one of the great service roles. He found his passion when he got to Coastal. It's not always a straight path. You might be getting anxiety just thinking, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my passion is. That's okay. But think about it. Sometimes it's a crooked path, but it's always a journey. So I leave you with this story. It's a Robert Fulghum story. And it's about a priest who was in charge of watching a large number of children. And that they became unruly. And so he thought, I've got to think of something. I got to play a game or something. So he decided to play Wizards, Dwarfs, and Giants. He said, kids, gather up. We're going to play Wizards, Dwarfs, and Giants. Decide what you are. Wizards to the left, Dwarfs in the middle, Giants to the right. Wizards, Dwarfs, and Giants. Pick who you are, get in your spot. And as the kids ran around and found their spot, Wizards, Dwarfs, and Giants, a little girl walked up to the priest and she pulled on his cloak and she said, Father, where should the mermaids stand? And he looked down and he said, honey, it's Wizards, Dwarfs, and Giants. And she said, oh no, Father. There must be a place for mermaids because I am a mermaid. You see, she was going to play that game, but she wasn't going to give up her passion. Class of 2016, it's up to you. What role do you want to play in this game of life? Follow your passion.